The World Sports Betting 1900 is an important stepping stone into the HOLLYWOODbets Durban July, with a good performance needed to secure a place in the season's flagship race.
A lot of horses will be using this to try and qualify for the July.
There's obviously a lot of horses with bigger fish to fry going forward.
Obviously have it also before in the July. Look, he'll have to win this race to get in the race.
Our objective is to get his rating back up. Got to get up to at least a 115 to get into the July with bottom weight.
We're behind the 8 ball, but it's where I want to be. I can tell you right now, he's going to be a big run in this year's Hollywood Durban July.
In 2020, the Snaith-trained Bulgarian won the 1900 before going on to land the Durban July. The stable are using the same route for Do It Again and Crown Towers, but unlike Bulgarian, who came into the 1900 underexposed and with the intention of keeping his merit rating as low as possible, Do It Again and Crown Towers are seasoned campaigners, with their merit ratings unlikely to change regardless of good performances. At first glance, 62 looks a lot to shoulder, but with a 42 merit rating differential in the field, the rest are under sufferance with Do It Again, who looks weighted to win. At 7 and lining up for his 5th champion season, he's quite remarkable. He comes off a great run in the Cape Town Met, where he finished just 2 lengths behind KOTZEN. We asked Justin how fit and well he is.
He's still left to fight it out. KOTZEN has now taken the lead. He's coming home best of all. KOTZEN wins the Met.
Well, look, he's definitely not as fit as we'd always want to. Obviously, we had a lot of rain here in Natal. He's been up here quite a while. A lot of interrupted work. He hasn't been to Greyville at all. I managed to get us a gallop in at Scottsville. It was of a very high standard. There's a lot of horses here. We're giving 8 and 10 kilos away respectfully. So very happy where he is so far in the season. And I can tell you right now, he's going to be a big run in this year's Hollywood Durban July.
But it's still Litigation who's in control with 100 metres left to go.
The only runner from the Highveld in the race is listed Derby trial winner Litigation. He's since run twice. Tarry explains.
Litigation is doing very well. I was happy with his last few runs. He travelled a little hard in the Derby.
Litigation just a little headstrong.
But won a very good race in the Derby trial.
Strongly out to win the Derby trial by 3 lengths.
Litigation.
We dropped him back in trip in his last start, and I thought he did really well, especially coming from a 2-4. I'm happy with his weight, even though he is out at the weights, and he's well drawn. I look forward to Simanga riding him. I think he'll get on well, and hopefully will make his presence felt.
And it's Crown Towers, not for
Seen winning over 1,800 metres at the end of November last year, Crown Towers has had just 1 run since.
Crown Tower had a hiccup into the season. His gallop at Greyville was with Captain's Ransom just for to get a bit of speed in him. Just looking for positive runs. We're behind the 8 ball, but it's where I want to be. Come the right race, we'll be ready.
Vaughan Marshall, who was out the blocks this champion season with a win in the Grade 2 iOS Drill Hall Stakes last weekend, saddles Gainsford, who was impressive in his penultimate run before coming up to KZN.
Gainsford gets up to beat Gallic Tribe.
Shelley's done very, very well. You know, he had a very good run the other day in the Sledgehammer. It's a pity that it was moved from Maritzburg to Greyville.
And fourth, perhaps that went to Gainsford.
But now with the 1900, it's a little bit further, and it's not a very big field. I think he's in with a huge chance. But he's done exceptionally well since arriving in Durban at Summerveld. So, you know, we're very hopeful. It's obviously throwing him in the deep end with the distance, but we're having a crack.
Let's take another look at the Sledgehammer, as there's a line of form not just for Gainsford, but the winner Mount Anderson, Origami who was 2nd, and Tristful who finished 6th. The Kanemayer yard were delighted with Mount Anderson's win.
And he just quickened so nicely. It was a fantastic win to see that. He's come out fine, he's fresh, he's doing nicely. He's got draw 7, which is not a bad draw. He can still come from off the pace a bit, which he is one of those that will sit midfield. He's coming with a light weight again of 54. Although they did hit him 6 points on his last win, they've stepped him up. But, you know, he's fit and he's well, and we're going the extra 100 metres. I know it's a bit of a push, but we've got to give it a try.
Second placed Origami has been in Duncan Howell's yard for the past year.
he had a great last run. When he came to me, he had a lot of niggles. We had a lot of problems with foot abscess. And I think I'm only starting to get him fit now. He's a big, strong horse. And last time was his first possible run over the correct trip. And he ran a very creditable race. We're at the bottom of the weights. We're not well in at the weights. But I do feel the horse is on the up and could possibly be looking for a little bit further now. But it's worth giving it a shot.
Tristful has had just one run this year after finishing off 2021 with a good second to Ikigai in the listed Christmas Stakes.
After he ran second in the Christmas handicap, I sent him to the farm for a month, but it's taken me a long time to get him back. For some reason, he just hasn't done as well as I expected. The jocks seem to think that his work's much the same as it's always been, so I've taken a chance and left him in the 1900. If the right Tristful, can turn up on the day, then obviously he would definitely always be a contender, but I'm not that confident.
Up on the outside, we got Crimson King.
Placed in the Grade 3 Cape Summer Stayers in December is the useful Crimson King.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting race. With Do It Again, everybody seems to be under sufferance. But our objective is to get his rating back up. I think he's a 10, geez, I'm not, if I'm not mistaken, 104. He's got 109. He's got to get up to at least a 115 to get into the July with bottom weight. And not be under sufferance, and that is our objective. He's got all the ability in the world. He's been a touch unlucky. We're going a little underdone, but very well. He's fresh and he's well. If he gets caught 3 wide, we're in trouble. But I think he'll run a cracking race just in the way he is. He's in a very good space at the moment. As I say, we just need to get his rating up. So if we get his rating up and he runs a cracker, we'll improve on that.
Having run second to Crown Towers in an 1800-metre Pinnacle Stakes in November, Gentleman's Wager then returned the favour, beating him in the listed Michael Roberts handicap in January. He's run twice since.
Just to give an example, the last 2 times he's met Asterix, he's beaten him both times, and we all know what Asterix has come out and done. He's a lovely old horse to train. He does have his issues and they're all feet related, so it's a very fine line to draw with him, getting him sound into a race and fit enough to be competitive. But I think we've got him in the right space heading in for Saturday. Drawn out a bit awkward, but he's versatile. He can go forward, he can go back. So I think there'll be a decent gallop on with Crown Towers in the race. So that could set it up nicely for a swooper like him. But he's in a very good space, and I'm very happy with him heading in.
Champompo Champisi and Springfling's coming late on the outside.
Champompo Champisi has found the frame in his last 6 starts, winning 2. He jumps from pole position.
Michelle, he's coming into this race having had really good runs. It is experiment about the distance, I feel it may be just a touch too far, but Kevin and Anthony discussed it. They felt it was the right sort of field to have a go. He drew 1 when he was nominated, so we decided to give it a go. So Champompo Champisi is named after Kawunda, who was the Khoza rugby commentator in the Rugby World Cup final. And when Mpimpi scored the first ever South African try in the final, he shouted out a sentence that included Champompo Champisi, meaning I think champagne and sparkling wine or something. And so it's a very special name. Fortunately, he passed away shortly before he had his first run, but his widow was there to witness his first ever race that he won, and she follows, and he's a very special horse to the Hollywood team.
With a merit rating of 84, Decorated is no less than 42 points below Do It Again at 126. He comes into the race off the back of a credible second to Imperial Ruby in the WSB Highland Night Cup in April.
Look, he's a horse that's basically a classically Englishly bred horse that has taken a long time to come to hand. He's been very immature, but he's a lovely, big, strong horse that is getting better and better, and he's got huge potential, this horse. Obviously, I've had horses before in the July, like Orbison, 3rd, Sushi San ran 2nd. So I know the calibre the horse has to be.
Look, you'll have to win this race to get in the race. So, but if you haven't got a ticket, you haven't got a chance. I mean, look here, basically, horse racing, we're all a bunch of dreamers. So, you know, if you haven't got a ticket, you haven't got a chance. And I think he's good enough. So let's see what happens on Saturday. He's very well. He's got better and better. I'm glad for Dudley, who's a new owner in my yard, and let's hope we can do something. But don't worry, he'll be a runner. I mean, he's beaten Porto Manzano before. He's beaten Asterix before. They ran first and third in the big race in Joburg. So it's not like he's way out the ballpark. Yeah, but he's horse that punters must definitely include in exotics.
Quality of the field?
Yeah, look, you know, Do It Again's a very, very good horse, but he is getting on in age, and you know, this horse has been has changed remarkably since we put him over a little further, and he's done really, really well. So I think he'll be competitive.
I've seen much stronger fields over the years, but I mean, don't take away the Do It Agains there. I know Justin's horse has also been a little bit on the back foot, but you know, hopefully he's got another week working, and that might make the difference.
It's a very competitive race. Obviously, the standout is Do It Again. You know, he does set the standard, but it's a very competitive race, and I think we can look forward to a very exciting finish on Saturday.